So the best way to ask forgiveness from people, if you've hurt them, it really depends on the situation. Okay. If it's a harm that they know about, so there's two kinds of harms, right? There's a harm that you did to someone that they know you did, yeah? And then there's a harm that you did to someone that they don't know that you did, all right? Now, if they know that you did it, then approaching them directly and seeking their forgiveness is the best way. Tell them I seek your forgiveness. I regret what I've done. I ask Allah to forgive me, and I ask you to forgive me. Okay. And then also make dua for that person and, for their success in this life and the next, and for their forgiveness. Now, in cases where that person does not know about the harm that you did, and that could be various different things. Okay. Number one, if there's something you can do to rectify that wrong, do it. For example, maybe you stole something from someone. You need to give that back. You need to give that thing back or the equivalent of that thing back to rectify that wrong, in addition to seeking forgiveness. Now, what if it's something that there isn't something you can give back? I mean, if there's something you can do to rectify it, do it. Like I'll give you another example. You slandered that person, or you backbited about that person, and as a result, you turned someone else against them. Okay. So in that case, you would want to write as much as you can, rectify that. Go back to that person who you told the lie to, or who you backbited about this person to, and tell them, I was wrong. Try to rectify, say, actually, this person, is a good person, and I was wrong in saying this. So you're trying to make it better in that way. That's one of the ways to mend that wrong. Okay. Then there's some cases where there isn't maybe anything you can do, or maybe you've done everything you can to try to mend it, or maybe there isn't something you can do to mend it. In that case, keep asking Allah for forgiveness and ask Allah to forgive that person. It's because sometimes, in some cases, and it depends on the situation, in some cases you might cause more harm going and telling that person what you did that they didn't know about, right? So, for example, going up to, a really good friend of yours and saying, by the way, I spent the last 10 years backbiting about you, just so you know. So that probably won't do too much good for that relationship at this point. So you have to also use hikmah, you have to use wisdom where it's appropriate to tell that person whatever harm you've done, but at the same time trying to mend it, trying to rectify it, and for sure making dua for that person, as well as making dua for forgiveness.